star of the show, Amber, back. Thank goodness.
You're welcome, everybody. I'm glad to be here.
You're not allowed to take vacation anymore on Mondays.
I was watching the Michael Jordan documentary, as I told you, and they said in there, one player does carry the team, Amber Vilhauer.
Totally.
It's the Michael Jordan, yeah.
And Mike, Scotty McAlowitz.
You guys.
Yeah, I'm Scottie Pippen. I like it. Yeah, I kind of look like him.
Look, I think it's I don't know what it is.
Well, he's a long face. I got more of like a long face. Michael Jordan's a little more of a rounded face. So that's my Pippen-esque connection.
Plus, you look tall on video. So
I got, just as a quick aside, it's funny when I do live conferences, the most consistent feedback is, "Oh my God, you're way taller than I thought you'd be." So I'm 6'1". In video, the majority of people think I'm like 5'10".
What?
Isn't that interesting?
Huh.
Videos.
Gosh, I don't even want to know what people must think of me because I'm short.
They think you're like 7'3". They're like, "Oh my God, she's like Amazon tall."
5'2.5".
Now they'll think you're like 6'5".
I love when people throw in a half. I have a friend who she's 6 feet tall, but she's like, I'm 5'11" and 3/4. She won't go by 6.
Hey,
when you're small, the half matters.
It does. It does. All right, so we're gonna kick it off with a little song, and then we're gonna jump right into lead conversion. So this has nothing to do with lead conversion, unlike last week. We're gonna do a little Neil Diamond.
You know what? It was a busy Monday, right? Like a lot of people. I don't even hear it. Do you hear it?
I hear it.
I can't begin to know
this is nice. It was busy Monday. Were you busy today, Mike?
Yes, I ran a mastermind today. Eight of us. Just
all
got
day?
off. It was great.
It's a good one. It's a good job.
Not the summer of COVID. It's a different summer this year.
No.
Oh yeah. I need something.
You know, drunk. There's a video. You're at a wedding. You touching me, Sweet Caroline.
All right.
So good.
We're back.
I almost forgot about our mess with Mike prank for today. Almost.
Oh yeah, I wonder
what
what that could be. I don't know. I think we'll find out.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So, and if you find it, don't tell Mike. Just post it in the chat.
Oh, I like that.
So we're still talking about the bottom of the pyramid on sales here. And we've gotten to step 3. Amazingly, we've gotten this far without our show getting canceled. No. So we're talking about lead conversion. So last week we talked about getting prospects. How do you get people ringing, getting your phone to ring off the hook? How do you get people inbound? This is about, and we talked about this last week, prospects are a liability until you close them, right? Because they take time, they take resources, they take money. So we don't just want more leads. We don't just want more prospects if we don't have conversion in place. And I've seen a lot of this in doing a lot of real estate and mortgage coaching is these lead hoarders who they're like, guess how many leads I got this week? I mean, I didn't call most of them, but I got a ton of leads. Mm-hmm. And so what we want to do is we want to talk about how to take those leads and be really efficient, effective on closing them and turning them into dollars, right? Because that's the name of the game. So Mr. Scotty, tell us your thoughts.
Yeah. So it is interesting how we compile an inventory of leads. I knew someone who was big on social media, and I won't say that person's name, but I will say he had a lot of Twitter followers, and we were having a little dialogue, and he goes, "I just tweeted about you, Mike." He goes, "Get ready for it to rain Twitter followers. You're welcome."
Was this Donald Trump? I just need to know.
It was Donald Trump. It's not, yeah. He spoke. It was huge. It was absolutely huge. This is for you. First of all, I don't know what it means to rain Twitter followers, but I'm like, oh, thanks, but no thanks. I really want people that are interested in my offering. He's like, oh, I don't know how to do that. So there's different stage of leads. There's people that are passively observing. I consider them the freeloaders, and there's nothing wrong with, we all are freeloaders in different capacities. We're observers, but never with the intention of getting engaged. So there's this, in this case, it was a Twitter community that was freeloading on this guy's stuff, and he felt there was significance, but you see in his bottom line, it wasn't presenting itself. So realize you have a freeloading community and a community that wants to engage further, and you got to distinguish the two. And both will serve you. The freeloaders, while they'll never consume from you, at least they propagate the word. They tell others who may want to get engaged. We need to concentrate our attention on the people that want to get engaged. And by doing that, you have a requirement to sell to them, meaning make offers. And if you don't make offers, you'll never know who's who. Now, if you make an offer and someone doesn't buy, it's a different kind of lead. At least they showed interest. I mean, they clicked through, or they observed, or they participated, but they didn't buy at the moment. That just means that the timing was wrong, but they're looking to purchase. So stage one is with these prospects, all these different types of freeloaders to engage people, make an offer. And you can try a low cost point offer just to see what kind of engagement you have. You can go for a higher offer or whatever, but make an offer. The people that show interest, put them into the interest bucket of some degree, and then we need to start selling. When it comes to selling, I actually recently released this training, and
I heard about it. Everybody was talking about it. People were
the whole world
talking about it on
Everyone was
my
talking about
sales
it.
call.
Absolutely.
It's called serve selling.
Yeah.
It's called serve selling. And this was response. So when COVID hit, around March 15th, within a week, we sent out, my team and I, we sent out an email that said, what's the biggest challenge you're facing now? Number one challenge was actually confidence. A lot of people's confidence was rocked. Number two was, I don't know how to sell in this market. So we assembled two courses, the confidence course and a thing called serve selling. What I do when I create this stuff, and ultimately this may become a book, and I don't know if I'll stick with that title, but I try to deconstruct on what already works in our natural environment that we're not paying attention to in selling that sells consistently. If I can find it, deconstruct it, and make that into a system. Well, if actually both Isaac and Amber, both of you and I have assistants. Sometimes we assign our assistant to do something. Like I need a new coffee machine. That was one example. And so what's the assistant do? The assistant, Amy, went out, evaluated coffee machines. She came back with 3 options, like a Keurig, some kind of coffee pot thing, and some other fancy schmancy thing. And when she came back with the options, she goes, of what you were talking about, I suggest in this case, the Keurig. It was like the middle priced item. Well, guess what? I bought that, of course. And the reason was she was out there to be of service to what I was seeking. She gave me 3 options plus a recommendation, and I went with the recommendation. And when we have someone serve us in that capacity as an assistant, we will buy 99% of the time with what they recommend or within parameters of the 3 choices, almost every single time. It's unlike we'll be like, whoa, what are you trying to sell me? Whoa. That's serve selling. Serve selling is a realization that we behave in the capacity to our engaged prospects in a capacity of service will convert. Let me give you just a couple more examples. One of my favorite Christmas movies of all time is called Miracle on 34th Street. Watch it if you haven't seen it. It's an awesome
Remarkable.
movie.
Yeah.
Have you saw that? You've seen it?
Yes.
It's awesome. So for anyone watching it right now that hasn't seen it, it's Santa Claus, the real Santa Claus, and he has to basically prove he's the real Santa Claus. Everyone thinks he's insane because this guy's saying he's the real Santa Claus. Well, in this journey of trying to prove who he is, he gets hired by Macy's to be a Santa Claus in the store because they want, the children to come in and so forth. Well, children line up to see this Santa Claus with their parents, and the child whispers what they want as the gift. And the Santa Claus's job is then to tell the parent that's in aisle 4, section 3 or something. Well, this Santa Claus, because he's the real Santa Claus and he's the truth sayer, when the children says, I want something, he whispers to the parents, the better price is at Gimbel's across the street. Yeah. And he starts sending customers away. Mm-hmm. In the overacting of the 1950s, you then see the next scene of the store manager. You hear Santa Claus do this, and the store manager's like, it contorts his face like, what are you doing? Total overacting of the 50s. How pissed the manager is. Then next scene is the next day, and Santa Claus is coming into work, and the manager's ready to fire him for turning business away. But Macy's is packed. There's lines now around the building. The reason is words on the street that this Santa Claus tells you where the best deal is. Macy's is in the Christmas spirit and the source of the best deal, and their business skyrockets. That's the essence of serve selling. If you actively go out not to persuade and convince someone to buy from you, if you say, my job is to find you what's in your best interest, even if it's not us, we'll deliver it. One last example, Progressive came onto the insurance scene using serve selling very publicly through their commercials, but they would say, go to the Progressive Insurance website and we'll give you the 4 quotes from all of our competitors so you can choose the best one. That is a modernization of that strategy.
So where's the best place to get Fix This Next?
Did he freeze?
He froze. All right, bad question. Let me back up.
You broke the internet. And while we are waiting for Mike to come back, did anybody notice our mess with Mike moment? Put it in the comments below if you did. No, thank you.
So those of you that are still watching, as opposed to Mike who's frozen. If you're not frozen, check it out.
He's frozen on a better face, at least. That's good.
Now he's faking it. He's faking being frozen. Now he's done with this show.
Well, I could add my 2 cents on that if this is okay. That we're talking about client conversion. We're talking about qualified buyers. That's what I want to transition to, if that's okay. You know, I think that people might not have as much confidence to sell. They're unsure of how to sell in this environment. You know, we are blinded online right now thinking that it's all about the number of followers that we have as opposed to like the amount of qualified buyers that are coming in as well. Mike is almost back. And
He's
something
back in spirit.
What?
He's back in spirit.
He's back in spirit.
Yeah.
I loved that he brought up a Christmas movie. I mean, I'm not ready for Christmas, but like I still appreciate that, you know, feels good.
So I did have one of my coaches that was talking about there's a lot of people who could be spectators and they'll stand back and they'll admire something, but they won't necessarily engage with that thing. And so I know there's a big movement on social media right now, and you're like dominate social media and you're really good at the strategy on that side. A lot of people just want followers. They just want the number to go up on the people, number of followers on Instagram, number of followers on Facebook.
What does that really get you? Maybe
it doesn't matter.
Credibility or authority in some people's minds, but if you're not converting, like, what's the point?
It's just more people to try to keep up with if they're not buying anything from you, right? So the new key is not numbers, it's engagement. How engaged is your audience? Because I would rather have an audience of 20 people that are super engaged and buying from me every week than have a group.
Oh, even better. I love it.
I like it.
When the world zigs, you gotta zag, you know.
Boom. Okay.
My internet
quote.
My internet went down. So here, welcome to my wife's flower garden.
Oh my gosh,
it's like the private tour.
Yeah. I'll show you guys around one of these times. Yeah, and we just put plants up there, so now she's watering all the way down the hill.
Oh, that's so
special episode, guys. Special episode.
Yeah,
Christmas references, the flower garden. It's remarkable.
We live deep in the woods too, so the only internet connection I can get is right where we are right now because the cell towers are way out. So
okay, hold still, super still. Don't move at all. Pretend you're frozen, but talk. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I won't move. Like I'm like a radio tower. So where do you get Fix This Next? The last thing I heard, and I saw myself that weird freeze.
Well, you broke the internet. I mean, it was hilarious.
I know.
Yeah, we're asking where the best place to get Fix This Next was if you're, Macy's and you're referring people to gimbals.
So the best place, I'll give you 2 places. If you're going to buy a single copy, Amazon is the right place to get it because you can get cheap, a discount probably down to like $20 off the $27 sticker price. Book Pal, if you decide you want to buy 25 or more copies, I found this company and they're great. It's book-pal.com. And why would you want to buy 25 copies? Well, you should, if you have a team of employees, your employees should be doing this process too. Because, it expands the perception of what's going on. Instead of having a biased opinion of, this is where I feel we are in the business hierarchy of needs, now you get the full context. And also, maybe it's great to gift. So book-pal.com. The best price is once you get to 25.
I was actually talking to somebody today who was looking at buying 125 copies for his, key clients. And
Boom.
I said, you should buy 150.
Speaking of Christmas,
That very
give them away
Santa
for
Claus.
Christmas too. Make the perfect Christmas gift.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You should get 100. You should get 150. Well, thank you. I appreciate that support. That's
What
awesome.
about the new customers coming in? I mean, what about the people
That's
that
true.
are going to upsell to next quarter? It's like, we got to think ahead.
That person can gift it forward. That's true.
Absolutely.
I love that.
And that is good client conversion.
Totally. Amber schooled us all on client conversion while you were frozen, so we're all caught up. So what do we do with people that don't convert? So if we have, so with the conversion cycle, you're going to have prospects that come in, you're going to have certain ones that you can convert right off the list. What's your take on nurturing versus like how long do you nurture people and keep them in the conversion cycle before you just say, you know what, I'm spending too much time on this?
It's real simple. You ask boldly, kind of following Santa Claus's model. When someone doesn't buy and you make an offer, then to follow up and say, hey, I realize you didn't buy this offer because it may not be the right time or the right offer, or you may not want to buy anything. If you don't want to see my future offers, please tell me, and I'll put you in the section where I just give you information, but you'll never hear an offer from me again. Conversely, if you're interested when we have future offers for me to share them with you, there's no obligation whatsoever. But if you're interested in seeing what they are, stay here. What's interesting is it's an affirming statement. When someone says, yes, I do want to buy in the future, they reduce that resistance that you're selling to them, because now you're just offering to them because they request it. That's the way to separate it. And some people say, no, I just want to be a freeloader and kind of listen. And that's cool too. Remember, their asset is you're of service to them and they will propagate the word. So serve them well still.
Yeah, those are the spectators, and that's, we're all going to have the spectators, but it's the end of the day, the people that take action are the ones that get the results, right? So
Yep. But let me say this. You don't have to buy to get results necessarily. And I really feel that way. I've been following some people, Frank Kern, the internet marketer. I've never purchased anything from him, but I've derived value from him. So I stay on his list, and maybe one day I will. I don't think I necessarily will, but I've derived value and I've delivered value. So when people ask me about how you do internet marketing, I'm like, oh, check out this guy, Frank Kern. I've never bought from him, but his marketing to me and what he shared is helpful. So I think there's still value in those spectators.
And Santa Claus, we should all follow Santa Claus. Watch it. It pays off.
Miracles do happen, bro. You never know.
That's right. So let's talk a little bit about we started off the show by talking about what's going on in the world, because you're very tapped into what's going on with everything. And a lot's changed since then. I mean, it's been several weeks. So you got your finger on the pulse of what's happening in life and business. Give us an update on what are you seeing out there right now?
So I'll tell you something shocking is the rebound of restaurants. So I work with, like their profitability is for many restaurants that my fingers are on, so to speak, that I'm in touch with. Their profitability is at their highest levels ever, even though it is decreased revenue. Here is the conclusion: is restaurants were forced into takeout scenarios. Smart restaurants were amplifying takeout into teaming up with food trucks. There's one team to the food truck that we heard of, delivering 50 to 60 hot meals in about 15 minutes. They were able to deliver to neighborhoods and have people pick it up at their pickup centers at their cul-de-sac. And the restaurant became a cooking center. There was other ones that started cooking classes for their patrons, said, hey, we'll cook meals together. The margins on takeout, on cooking classes, on food truck delivery is so much higher than having a wait staff. So these restaurants that run razor thin margins aren't anymore. So lower overall revenue, higher margins, higher profitability. That was probably the most unexpected and exciting things. I've heard the rebound of dentists and other medical, and I shouldn't say quasi-medical, but paramedical, like dentists I consider paramedical fields, where there was restrictions on people coming in, but ailments don't go away. That sore tooth is going to stay. And now that restrictions are a little more flexible, they're coming in. DJs, listen, if you think you're in the DJ business, you're out of business. Again, I heard modifications. This one DJ, I may have shared a story before. It's just so remarkable, is set up neighborhood parties. They teamed up with restaurants. Restaurants sponsored them. This DJ would go to a neighborhood, crank up the music for 15 minutes. People come out of the house and party for 15 minutes. And he goes, "You just had a house party. That was brought to you by Joe's Pizza. Have a great day today." And people they can't wait for the house party to come through in the late afternoon on a weekday or weekend, whenever they're doing this. And Joe's Pizza is paying for the sponsorship. So this DJ is making their money and this pizza shop's getting exposure.
Yeah.
What was that?
No.
That's amazing. I love that.
I know he's watching right now. Jake, you can't go back into the DJ business, buddy. Yeah.
So you're hearing innovation. I'll tell you why I'm so jacked up about this is I study now every recession back to the Great Depression. And if you want a source for this, Ray Dalio wrote a book called Principles. He wrote a parallel book, which not many people know about, which is called the Coming Debt Crisis, which is not the most exciting thing to hear about, the coming debt crisis. But in that, it's a series of 5 books. There's a study of every recession. It's a great source if you really want to dig into the numbers. But here's what I saw. There's a parallel arc. There's a trigger event, something that triggers a destabilized economy. It's already destabilized, kind of bubbling under the surface. But then this thing comes in like COVID or housing collapse or move to the gold standard or whatever. But then the turn consistently is the rise of small business every single time. That's what I love. If you look at the big businesses of today, Google, Amazon, Airbnb, they all came out of recession and crisis. Yep. Here's what's coming out of this one. We are in economic decline. I think there is no denying that. The government, at least the US government, has not accepted that yet. But I think we are. The stock market is not reflected. But if I look at the trend over on small business, we are in an economic decline. I do know this. We will come out of it. We'll come out of it wildly successful. And it'll be a small business, a name you've never heard of, that becomes a great innovator that makes this an opportunity and springs themselves and our economy forward.
Whoever comes up with great rural internet solutions will be
Exactly.
Are you giving business owners any specific advice, Mike, about, a lot of people are nervous about the election coming up and then into cold and flu season. And are we going to have like an epic second wave of this? I mean, what are you telling people to stay focused on right now?
Yeah. When it comes to politics, what I found is that affects Wall Street more than it affects Main Street. So that doesn't concern me right away. But when Wall Street slows down and the big corporations suffer, there is a trickle down effect. What I've seen, big corporations stops buying because they're in trouble. Medium-sized corporation that's selling to big corporation, they slow down because big corporation isn't buying. And then finally, 6 months later, small business guy is affected because medium-sized business doesn't have the money from big business. So there's a trickle down. I would watch how is big business being affected, and they're your 6-month lead indicator. When it comes to the pandemic and all this stuff going on, typically, but we're not in a typical scenario, typically it's a big business effect that drips down again. This one, because of closures, which I can't think of another experience where we've actually, in my lifetime, that we have any closure like this, small business was affected at the same time big business was affected. So I would watch for that. But I would, if you haven't learned yet, find a way to run, you deliver your offering in multiple formats. If you were a retail store and you fully were contingent upon people arriving and walking in, don't expect a return to people walking in your store. You've got to move to an online standard or some secondary standard. I think having your offering through 2 or 3 platforms, direct, internet, in person, whatever, is the best strategy right now because the future is so flexible. It's probably put a positive spin on it.
Flexible.
Yeah.
I thought that was really great advice. I mean, I want to address the viewers right now and say, if you know anybody that has a small business, an entrepreneur that might benefit from hearing what Mike just said, then please share this. Post it in one of your private Facebook groups, tag a couple of business owners. This show that we're doing every single Monday is to really help business owners identify what to fix next in their business, how to move forward. Mike is always setting trends, innovating, and he's in the trenches every single day helping business owners. And so you can always count on the most up-to-date information. And he's an amazing futurist too. So please be responsible and bring people back into this community so that we're growing our viewership every Monday in support of not just Fix This Next, but also his future books as well. And I am hearing here from our team that the viewers have a concern right now. They've been a little worried during this episode because they're asking, Isaac, are you and Amber taking shots right now? Is that what's happening? And the answer is yes, we have been with our new Drink This shot glasses.
Bring it. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
Every time you say remarkable, but Isaac was also doing Fix This Next. I was not, because that went right over my head. It is
real
water.
shots?
It is water, because we don't want to get in trouble and harm your brand, Mike. But yes, Mike, you got to tell them, like, where did this come from? I got these designed, and I'm going to ship one out to you, man. Because
you were the best. You're the best.
I got these custom designed just for you.
And Kelsey, we'll send one to Kelsey too.
Yeah.
So, she would love it. So we, I believe in experimenting with tons of ideas. And one day I was talking about the Fix This Next concept, and someone's like, I need to drink this next, because they were having a tough day. It's like, there's a parody on my own book. So we ran a test. We set up a design. We have flasks with that, and we have book covers with that. And then we wanted to see if people wanted to buy the flasks or book covers. And there was some pickup, but it wasn't enough to justify continuing it. So it's sitting there, but it's a test that's proven we shouldn't be pursuing it. So that's where it came from. I love that you did that. The funny thing,
I think we should pursue it.
well, the data doesn't point to a major opportunity, but I love your attitude. There's a woman named Robin Robbins. She runs an event called Technology Marketing Toolkit. You know her well, Amber. She's awesome. They had me keynote right before COVID hit. They had me come down and keynote to an audience of like 500 or 600. She and I and a few people went out for dinner that night before, and she's like, "Hey, I want to make you a bet." I said, "What?" She goes, "If you do 3 shots during the speech of this horrid scotch," she goes, "we'll make a donation of a significant amount, $5,000 to a charity of my choice, Alzheimer's. We've had that in our family, and it's a horrible disease." So I was like, "You got it." So my plan was, right when I started, do 1 shot, and that I should be able to handle that. In the very end, do 2 shots real quick. The first shot of this horrid scotch, I started slurring in my own speech. And I was like, "You gotta take your profit first." It was so bad. The audience who thought it was a great idea is like, "No more shots for Mike." And 2 audience members came up and did them for me. And I got the $5,000.
Oh, that's so nice that they did that. That's great. I can actually picture that. That's hilarious. I wish I would have been there.
Train wreck.
Love it.
So audience, you do not have to worry. It is water. Sorry to disappoint anybody. But in the future, so I have a dozen of these that I had made. And what we're going to do is have like different contests from time to time. So if you're like the next one to start a watch party, actually, I'll even say that right now. If you are the first one to start a watch party for this live stream, in the bottom right-hand corner of the viewing screen, click Start Watch Party. And then we're just going to let us know in the comments below. We'll get your address, and you will get the 3rd ever, what?
Screenshot it and post it in the Fix This Next Facebook group, because otherwise, how do we know who is first? So first person to screenshot it and post it in the Fix This Next Facebook group. I'm slurring my words a little bit now, but it's because of John Murray.
All that water.
Amber said she was drinking water. I don't.
Right. You don't have to comply with that.
I didn't say nothing about nothing. So also, if you want more resources, go to fixthisnext.com. So there you'll find tons of resources. Mike, by the way, surprise, he's got tons of other books too, and they're all amazing. So look at Mike's other books. There's so much there. And we run a coaching business, so we get paid to give people advice. Mike wrote it down. You get it for like $20, $25, $30, what we coach several $1,000s for. But go to fixthisnext.com, get the resources. If you want to take the evaluation to find out what's the next thing in your business that you need to fix, go to eval/fixthisnext or .fixthisnext.com.
We'll put the links in the chat below.
We'll put it in the chat below.
I'm loving your property, man.
Oh yeah, that's the house. Yeah, this is awesome. Believe it, this is New Jersey. Believe it or not. So and
We
then
have like a fix this next
like blowout
relaunch party or some party. Different is better party.
Yeah, and back there's a waterfall, and we have 1,500 square acres, not ours, but of land all around here. So it's just it's really cool if you like the woods.
So the next 735 people that buy a copy of Mike's book, you get to come to Mike's epic launch party and drink out of these fixes.
I like that. We should have a big party here.
Yeah, it would be fun.
I like making remarkable promises on this. Show. There you go. All right. Hey, thanks so much for your time, Mike. You have a great week.
It was remarkable.
Hey, a deal's a deal.
I love it. I love it.
All right. Take care, sir.
See y'all. Be well. Bye-bye.
See you next week.